Welcome to Bio class. Today we'll discuss amphibolic pathway. Before starting amphibolic pathway, here in your book, one part is there, respiratory balance set. Let's know about this. There is certain assumption it is there that the respiratory pathway that we have completed, that glycolysis, tertiary cycle and ETS, electron transfer, it is one after another. I mean, it is in sequential, but actually it is not. It takes place simultaneously and do not take place one after another. So this one is correct. NADH synthesized glycolysis transferred into the mitochondria, undergoes oxidative phosphorylation, and none of the intermediate pathways are utilized to synthesize the other compound. Actually, this also we have seen that so many intermediates and other pathways also there. Here you can see this, the substrates enter pathway uh, and withdrawn from it when it is necessary. Okay, ATP is utilized as and when needed. Enzymatic rates are controlled by the multiple means. So it means that here that many other things will happen. So that you have to keep in mind. Here only glucose is being respired, and that is also assumption. Actually, from the protein side, from the fatty acid sides also, that it is in the respiratory cycle. So yet it is useful to appreciate distribution and efficiency of the living system in extraction and storing energy. There can be net gain of that 36 molecule of ATP in aerobic respiration. Alright. Now let us compare here fermentation and aerobic respiration. So anaerobic and the aerobic respiration. Fermentation, here the partial breakdown of glucose. And aerobic respiration is completely degraded. Okay, that is the first point. And here fermentation is a need gain only two molecules of ATP, and whereas in this aerobic respiration it is 36 molecule of ATP it gains. And NADH oxidized to NAD, that rather slow process in fermentation, where it is quite rapid in aerobic respiration. Now come here in amphibolic pathway. Now amphibolic pathway, look at here the meaning amphi. I think many of you know. Amphi means dual, both a dual. Amphibolic pathway, here we know there are in metabolism there are anabolism and catabolism. These two pathways. If one pathway it shows both anabolism and catabolism, then we can consider it is amphibolic pathway. Okay. Now in respiratory chain, respiratory cycle and the energy production, it is we know it is a breakdown of substances. So it should be catabolic process. If anything synthesized from it, if anything will made from that, then this part, if it is there, we to search it. If it is there, then this part will be anabolic. So respiratory process, it is so long that from the glycolysis to electron transfer, so long process. Here we to search that if anywhere that anabolism, it means that anything synthesized and anything produced, that is there or not. Okay, so mostly that the glucose is the it is the fevered substance for the respiration. Here fats also it can breaking down fatty acid and glycerol fast. Then the fatty acid, it is also can be degraded into acetyl coenzyme. That next part we will see that. Okay, and it can be 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, and that route it can enter. Protein also can be degraded in protease, amino acid after deamination and pyruvate or acetyl coenzyme. One thing you have to keep in mind that energy producing substances is glucose, mainly that we are taking the more amount of the glucose. But if any cases that glucose is taken less and the fat and protein is taken more, then from the fat and the protein the energy can be produced. It means that fat and the protein, that fatty acid and glycerol and here the amino acid can enter inside that TCA cycle and electron transfer chain, and so that they can produce energy. Okay. So here that amphibolic pathway, we have to search that where it is in anabolism will take place. Here it is clearly written, you can see that the respiratory process is traditionally being considered the catabolic process that I told just now. Catabolic process, we know that it is breaking down starts from the glucose and it is breaking down and ultimately it will produce the energy. Alright, so next part we can see this. This line you have to keep in mind. But when the organism need to synthesize fatty acid, acetyl coenzyme would be withdrawn from the respiratory pathway for it. Hence, the respiratory pathway comes into the picture both during breakdown and synthesis of fatty acid. Look at here, the fatty acid broken down here. Fatty acid is broken and it enters into the acetyl coenzyme and enter inside the respiratory cycle and produce the energy. So this is the catabolic route. But at the same time, when it is required that from the acetyl coenzyme, that again fat can be synthesized. See that this is the anabolic route. So anabolism and the catabolism both are there in the amphibolic pathway. So that is why the name. So next page we can see and make it clear. From a carbohydrate we are getting the main energy. So here it is glucose gives that energy, and already glycolysis we have completed. In glycolysis that the pyruvic acid is produced, then it enters inside the mitochondrium, and here intermediate then acetyl coenzyme and Krebs cycle. It goes, so it is the normal that route. It means that from the beginning to the end only the glucose it is there, I mean carbohydrate. But already I told that the fat also can get chance in the respiratory cycle to produce the energy. Fat here in the fatty acid and the glycerol that it breaks. In fatty acid that in process of beta oxidation, it breaks into smaller acetyl coenzyme, and acetyl coenzyme in that form it enters inside. Okay, and Glycerol 3 carbon, easily it can, if it phosphorylation, means phosphate is added, phosphorylation, when phosphate is added, it is same as the dihydroxyacetone phosphate or glyceraldehyde 3 phosphates. So it enters in that route, in intermediate route, and after that it converts into pyruvic acid and then acetyl coenzyme, then energy is produced. In protein, you know, the amino acid is produced. Amino acid is produced through transferase method, and in pyruvic acid and the acetyl coenzyme, in both the route it can enter inside. In direct glucose, if it is not there, in some cases the glycogen, starch, sucrose, if it is sucrose, what is the sucrose? When it will break down, it will get the glucose one and the fructose. This fructose, it converts into fructose 6 phosphate. Fructose 6 phosphate is just after that glucose 6 phosphate, if you recall glycolysis process. So after that fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. So here it enters. It means that it indicates that all can enter, but not in the from the beginning, but in the side route, then various ways in the catabolic process. So all the red lines that I have given in the catabolism. But it is amphibolic pathway. Where is the anabolism? Let we can discuss a little bit. Fatty acid can be synthesized from the acetyl coenzyme plus NADPH. So from this, that fatty acid can be synthesized. I am showing in the blue color, so this is anabolism. Now this acetyl coenzyme, we know that it is produced inside the mitochondria in intermediate and steps, which is pyruvic acid Krebs cycle, and it cannot easily moves out from the mitochondria, but all this process in the cytosol, cytoplasm. So what will happen that in Krebs cycle, when it will start the Krebs cycle, that first it is citric acid. This citric acid can easily moves citric acid. It easily moves out from the mitochondria, and it splits into acetyl coenzyme and oxaloacetic acid. As if you follow that Krebs cycle process, then these two things is combined to form citric acid. Here it is just reverse route. So here this acetyl coenzyme and the NADPH, that it converts into fatty acid. So this blue color, you can see that this is the synthesis of the fatty acid. The red color, you can see the breakdown. So that is the amphibolic pathway. Oxaloacetic acid then after converts into malic acid and then pyruvic acid. It can be utilized in other way. Okay. Now respiratory quotient. Respiratory quotient, the ratio of the volume carbon dioxide evolved and the volume oxygen consumed in respiration is called respiratory quotient. Very simple to understand. The volume of carbon dioxide which is evolved and the volume of oxygen which is consumed. Here it is in carbohydrate, in fat it is different. Just see that here in case of glucose, it is 6 and the 6 oxygen is consumed and 6 carbon dioxide is produced, so that here the ratio is 1. But in case of fat, it is not that. in case of fat, the tripalmitin, here the 145 oxygen and 102 carbon dioxide, so the ratio it comes 0.7. In case of protein it is different. If we write here in protein, in protein, suppose albumin, here 73 oxygen is consumed and 63 carbon dioxide is produced, and 38 water and other thing. Okay, so if we do that, find out that RQ here in case of protein, that 63 CO2 divided by 73, it comes 0.9. All right, so that is in your syllabus. All right, you have to prepare that. Thank you.